Salutations, friends. It's me, your pal, said Stevie. And today, I'm taking a closer look at this bad mamma jamma right here from Kansept. Concept? I don't know. I can't pronounce shit right. It's probably Concept, but I'm going to say Kansept. This is the Convict. This comes to me via the Apex Pass Around group. Shout out to the Apex Pass Around group. Shout out to Kansept for providing this to us to check out, so we can give you our thoughts and opinions on it. Any hoodle, I digress. Without further ado, let's get into some specs real quick, why don't we? This is a overall length of 7.60. That's a blade length of 3.4 and a handle length of 4.2. You see it's a pretty wicked sheep's foot style blade. Nice stonewash finish with a full flat grind there. You see the Kansept logo, and it does have the steel marking, if I can get it to focus, which is 154 cm. Carbon fiber for the scales on this model here. You see a T8 tooled show side pivot, some T6 body screws. Obviously, it is for right-handed only carry because there's no spot for a reversible clip. Open construction, no backspacer. You can already see, if you haven't, it's a liner lock. You can see some internal milling on the liners there. Going around to the clip side, I believe that's a steel pocket clip. Let's just confirm that real quick. Like, I have my, it's stuck to things. My Dapper Ion that I'm using to check for the magnetism. It is a steel pocket clip. Some T6 screws holding that on there. Not deep carry at all. You're going to have a considerable amount hanging out of your pocket there. Considerable amount, which is fine. Gives you a little, a little bit to pull on when you're getting it out. More T6. More T6. I hate T6, and I don't have enough experience with Kansept's T6s to know how well they hold up. And then you see another T8 pivot screw there. You see the model name on the blade, which is Convict. And then you see also the maker's mark on there, which is Sheepdog Knives. So this is the same designer as the Kaiser Sheepdog, a bunch of different Kaiser designs. Not real familiar with the designer. I don't have any of his other designs. I've never owned a Sheepdog. I've handled one a couple times, but good design. This is, as you see there, a slot for deployment only. I can fire it out with my thumb. I can flick it, no problem. Lockup is solid. As I mentioned, it is a liner lock. This is riding on ceramic bearings. The action's great. Drops right to the nail. Little shake and it's home. Very, very smooth action. Ergos, they're okay. It fits in my hand well enough. The handle length, I don't mind that. I feel the pocket clip, the way it's designed, it's poking up into my palm. No matter how I grip this knife, that's a little bit of an annoyance. It's void of jimping. It is very slick back here. And then that choil for me and my fat sausage fingers is not really a choke-upable. Choke-upable is my new made-up word of the day. I can't really choke up on this knife. I think that's really more of a sharpening choil. And because of the way that's designed there, it just doesn't give me much to choke up on. But it is a nice sheep's foot style blade. I think the profile of the knife looks great. This bad boy is coming in on Blade HQ at $95. That's the only place I could find it for sale. I could not find, this variant anyway. So the Convict is a model that's been out for a while. It was actually Backpack B that turned me on to this model. And prior to this one coming out, he was taken. So this model was, I think, a titanium frame lock at one point model with thumb discs. And then they did one with thumb studs. And he was taking those off and doing mods and putting a hole in it on his own. But it looks like maybe that caught Kansept's attention and they started doing it as well. But shout out to Backpack B, one of the dope modders in the game. Really, really coming along in his with his knife mods. Knife Owl is a dope show that he does late night. And just a stellar human being, Backpack B is. But back to this knife, anywho. Sorry, I'm rambling. This is actually like the fourth video in a row I've recorded. I go in spurts. I'll do a marathon session where I record a bunch of videos back to back to back, and this is the last one of the day. And I'm actually getting really tired of listening to myself talk. So it'll probably come through in this video. As Gary the Last Ranger would say, wrap it up, Stevie. Wrap it up. We've heard enough of your ums and ahs for the day. This video's already gone off the rails, folks. But I like this knife. For 95 bucks, I think it's a decent. That's a decent price for this. I think the other models, the titanium ones with the thumb discs and all that, are 200 plus. So if you've liked the Convict model and it's been a little bit too expensive for you, you didn't want to pay a couple $100 for one, you can now get them in a cheaper model. Let's see, back on Blade HQ, you can see here the different models that they have there. That's a titanium frame lock for 207, 207, 217. That looks like it's got some Damascus on it. That one's dope. I like that one with the gray titanium if it had a slot. They have different ones in black micarta for 125. They got this blue G10 one for 80 bucks. They got another brown micarta with a black blade for 92. So, there's all sorts of different flavors of these. Again, here is the carbon fiber for 95. So, it's it's a fair price, I think. I'm not a real big fan of the way this carbon fiber is. It's very slick. I've seen carbon fiber done much, much better than this. So, I don't really have a problem with the $95 price point on this. And it's done well. Easy access to the liner, for sure. Disengages really well. The action's good. Sheep's foot is a very usable blade shape. You can, although, you're not going to choke up into this. If you're looking to do any pinch grips or, you're looking to do any, label cutting or whatnot, it's absolutely a very usable blade shape. And it's done well. I like the tall profile of the blade. That's one thing that I don't like as much about like the Penguin. Similar sheep's foot. This is the Penguin Plus. The regular Penguin, I think it's still a little bit thinner profile of a blade, but I like a tall blade like that. I prefer my knife blades to be tall like that. This is actually, I won't make this video about this, but this is a traditional pocket knives exclusive reverse tux that I did. I did some blade swapping, and this is actually going to be part of Simplify EDC guys' upcoming charity raffle. So stay tuned for that. But again, I digress on this knife here. It's not bad. I think that if you are okay with the $95 price and it checks your boxes, I can recommend this knife. I don't have any problems with it. I think it's done well. It's not something that I'm going to be picking up. It's not for me, but I think it's cool. I don't have any problems with it. 154 cm is actually one of my favorite blade steels. I got plenty of knives in 154 cm, and I know I can sharpen it. It's it's a decent steel. It's better than D2, that's for sure, in my opinion, anyway. Sharpening wise and edge retention wise, just based on my experience, anyway. But yeah, the Kansept Convict here, folks. That's what that is. I should mention also it does come in this pouch, just similar to the other Kansept that I have is my Sparrow Knives Fenrir. Came in a very similar pouch as this. But that's all I have to say about this. I'm going to get this package back up and on to the next person. Again, shout out to the Apex Pass Around group. Appreciate being able to check out knives that are available through them. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. And you can subscribe right here. You can like that video right there. And until the next one, I bid you mofos, adeuces.